NBC News legal analyst Misty Marris has been watching this trial closely for us, and she's with us now. Misty's sentencing for Banfield has been set for May. He's got 2 aggravated murder convictions. What kind of time could he be looking at?
So the aggravated murder convictions carry a mandatory life without the possibility of parole sentence. So he will spend the rest of his life behind bars. Remember, he's also convicted on child endangerment and a felony weapons charge used in the commission of a felony. There will also be a sentence for those, but ultimately, it's going to be that mandatory life without the parole that he will be sentenced to.
He can appeal this conviction, right? What would that look like?
So that is something that will take years and years and years. And any appellate case is really about errors of law. It's not second-guessing the jury. It's whether or not there was evidence that came in that was prejudicial or evidence that should have came in that was excluded. So those will be technical legal arguments. Throughout the course of the trial, you always see defense attorneys basically preserving some of those issues. But that's something that is a years long process.
For people who weren't following the day-to-day, although I know a lot of people were, the au pair testified for the prosecution, right? And then Banfield testified in his own defense, obviously for the defense. Jurors, it seems like we're sort of left to decide between 2 competing narratives. Are you surprised how quickly they came back with a verdict?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. The au pair's testimony always was going to have an issue, and that's because anytime you have a co-conspirator who flips and testifies, they're also a wrongdoer. So sometimes it can be hard for a jury to get on board with their version of the story. But ultimately, what really happened here is that Banfield's testimony lined up with a lot of the other objective evidence, like the forensics, simply did not make sense. And I think ultimately that's what carried the day for prosecutors.
Yeah, and Misty, the au pair pleaded guilty to manslaughter. She's now awaiting her own sentencing in this case. Could testifying, I mean, you would think testifying for the prosecution will help, maybe? Does it affect sentencing?
So as part of her prosecution agreement and cooperating with them and ultimately testifying, prosecutors are going to recommend a sentence of time served. That means she could be released. However, she could get up to 10 years, and ultimately it will be up to the judge.
If it's time served, though, she doesn't have to spend a day behind bars.
Not anymore. She's been incarcerated since her arrest, but she will be free.
All right, Misty Marris, thank you so much.